You know I love building cockpits, and that's gonna be the Trak Racer TR160S, which is the flagship and top of the line from that company, in blue. And that's supposed to turn into this. Now we are talking. Again, TR160 V2. What a beautiful, beautiful rig, but let me explain. Starting with that beautiful in piano black GT style seat with rubber pads, the Trak Racer belts, and then moving to the back, the inverted pedal kit, which right now is normal horizontal position with those pedals I'm testing for quite a while. But again, that plate can move up, and then we can attach the pedals from the bottom, and we have another tray for heel support. And you know, I love inverted pedals. Next is the monitor stand, which is with that overtop monitor kit for both monitors. And one important part is that computer case, which helps me manage my cables, and you can see how clean that is. And that is so important, because in that rig I plan to test a lot of gear, and will be so much easy to swap pedals and bases, and in general will make my life so much easier. Now let's move to the main frame of that rig. I don't really think I need to explain how sturdy that is, and here we have the shifters and handbrake bar, and then the base frame is crazy adjustable from here, and here we can achieve whatever angle we need. I put it upside down because I like more space here to have better view from that camera for the pedal work. And of course that is VR oriented build, but I have 34-inch in case I want to test something on monitors. And right now that monitor is quite far, but the main frame is on those casters, and if I need that closer to drive, I can push the entire frame forward and create that perfect eye distance from the main screen. And on top we have this one, which I'm mostly gonna use for work, recording, and having open different programs, also maybe SimHub, why not? And if you are curious what are those RGBs moving there, those are together with the pedal, so right now are in bit limiter mode, but I have added also for different effects. So I guess you can see how happy am I with that work, but let's start from the beginning. Now, let's check what we have here. Again, the quality looks absolutely awesome, and that blue painting is really cool. Also, some chunky aluminum casted parts for the corners. And it looks like complex build, but if I stuck somewhere, I will try to help you building your own rig. So let's start with part 1, which is the seat place, and for that we're gonna need 4 pieces and 2 corners with the part 1 bolts, and it looks quite simple. What I did is I took the Trak Racer logo, which usually sits on the back, but because that's gonna be hidden, I'm gonna use it somewhere on the side, and that doesn't look complex at all, so let's do it. Nice, part 1 is done. Now those are the seat brackets, but because I'm gonna use sliders, I will attach the sliders and those parts together with the seat, and at the end I will just connect everything like this together. Well, here is the first mistake I did. Now, if I attach those, then I will have really hard time working from this side, the bolts, like here. So will be way better to attach those parts to the next one and then put them together. Now, we'll learn from the mistakes. Let's take this off. So, next step, some further reinforcement on the bottom. Actually, right now, it doesn't matter if that's the top or the bottom. Let's make it bottom and put those brackets, which will help with the flex, even if I hardly doubt there will be any flex, because those use 4 bolts on each side. It doesn't hurt to have something extra, so let's do that. Now, it's already reinforced, but as that rig gonna be on casters, those casters have also brake system on ball bearing. I think it's a good idea to attach those now before they get way too heavy. And what I have to do is attach those brackets, I guess on the back will be like this. The bottom of the rig is done and the casters are set, and the next step through the guide is the wheelbase brackets, but I think that's something I'm gonna put the last, because I need a space to work with the pedal plates and the seat. So let's start with the pedal plate. That part is done, and this is the inverted model, which contains 2 parts. One is the heel rest, or actually the heel support, and then is the pedal plate with those brackets, which makes it highly adjustable, but it can be used also as standard, and that's how I'm gonna use it. So the adjustment on this is quite crazy, but let's put it down. So we're gonna use it like that. Next step, let's put the seat together. Let's pull this on the side. That's the GT seat, which comes in 8 different parts, which adds another layer of complexity, but for some people can be fun putting things together. And one interesting part is the pads are rubberized, which on one hand will keep forever, but from other hand must make that seat really hot, but that must be tested. And what I'm gonna do is I will assemble this part with the rails and attach to the rig, and later add the other parts. So let's do it. That part of the build is ready, and next step is to set the frame for the base. So let's do that. That part of the build is almost done, and I'm gonna move it on this side and continue building the monitor stand. But one thing I wanted to show you is this matte track racer carpet with the RGB, which is quite cute. Let me show you what is going on here. That is rubberized material, which feels quite high quality. And of course we have RGB control with different effects or standard colors, so we can match the interior. It's cool, isn't it? Now let's move this cutie on the other side and continue with the build. I'm really happy I have it on casters because it will be really hard to move this around. I will talk about this later and explain all the details, but now it's time to build the next thing. Now, I have to admit, every time I open a package I feel totally lost, and without the guide there is no way I can put those things together. And that's supposed to be single monitor stand with overhead monitor stand on the top, and it looks like there is a lot of work ahead, so let's do it. Those two parts are ready, but I already see problem for my use case. Now that's supposed to be like this, and that will be way too narrow for that rig. What I mean is that length won't be enough to move the monitors as much as I want. And what I'm gonna do is, usually I have to fit those three parts together, but then run the legs from here. Now I will remove one part and we'll make it like this, and then run the legs wider so they can fit there, and continue building on the top. That part is done, and just to show you something, they look quite different, doesn't they? That's the fun part working with aluminum frames. You can do whatever you wish and fit your own needs. What I did is I opened the bottom space to fit the frame there, and on the top is quite narrow, and again this is like super sturdy and super clean. And here we go with the space in action. I'm really happy with the end result, aesthetically speaking, and from rigidity point of view is the sturdiest rig I ever had for sure. The assembly experience was very smooth, even if every time I opened the next box and checked the parts felt overwhelmed, but the guides are very easy to understand, and with the 3 different size and model bolts it's hard to go wrong. The main frame of that chassis with that narrow shape adds complexity in the build process, but there is one huge advantage keeping the entire frame in the same size, adding the wheelbase frame. That saves space and at the same time gives great aesthetics. It requires a bit more work, but I had to do it once and worth the effort 100%. That's the V2 model, and in their V5 that bottom frame is single piece, which will make the assembly process way easier, but my personal choice without a doubt is that V2 for those reasons. Also, all the complaints I saw in old reviews about metal particles in the aluminum frames or loosey T-nuts with the ball bearing must be resolved, as everything was clean and tight, zero problems with that. About the inverted kit, I don't see any flex in use, and with tons of holes I will be able to fix all the pedals I will test in the future, but what I notice is once everything is assembled, is quite tight and needs force to slide the plate. That means the side frames will get scratched with the time, and I would love to see a bit more space between the front two parts for more easy adjustment. The wheelbase frame is also very sturdy, and even with that leverage there is no flex in normal use, and adjustment is absolutely excellent. Angle and distance can be created from different places for optimal personal comfort. Next, the sliders of the seat are surprisingly rigid, and there is very little flex under hard braking, which is noticeable only on the footage, and I can't feel it at all in driving. The seat itself have zero flex, and the way it is separate into parts is no problem, as the main force under braking goes to the bottom part and the top just support the shoulders only. I know many are interested in that GT seat, but I will make separate review once all the add-on kits are developed. The seat shell on itself have huge potential because it's like XXL size, and with different size pads will cover every body type. Right now have just those rubberized pads, which are a bit hard for my taste and a bit thin for my size. I'm 85 kilo, and this size will fit more for 100 kilo plus size people. What you see right now here can be the perfect seat for public rigs, as it will fit anyone and won't wear for years with those pads. Just wipe the rubber and will be like new. However, Trak Racer is developing soft material pads, and I hope different size thickness, which will probably make that seat one of the best choices on the market. When those pads are ready, I will test them and make full review, guys. From accessories, those belts are quite comfortable with the soft pads underneath and very easy to tighten and relax, and at some point I will add belt tensioner and check how perform, but one thing for sure, they have great comfort on the shoulders with those soft pads underneath. And the shifter plate is absolutely rock solid with tons of holes for different gear. Lastly, that monitor stand with the oversized monitor kit in original build is very narrow to be set from outside of the rig frame, but again, I just assembled it differently for my personal needs. It was easy adjustment, and that's the beauty working with aluminum profiles. So, that was the second rig I built from Trak Racer, and as I've said in the TR160 video, it is great affordable rig, just under 300 euro if that's the budget we have, but there is a reason those big rigs exist. That TR160 V2 is indeed beautiful, but most importantly future-proof, evolving into motion rig and way more rigid. Also, Trak Racer prices are very competitive on the current market, and it looks like with all those years experience have polished completely the user experience and solved the problems I saw they had before. I can't wait to see their new direct drive bases, shifters, wheels and pedals they are coming with in the near future, which felt quite promising in the last Sim Racing Expo in Dortmund. That being said, let's see what's coming next, and happy racing everyone.